وين؟ ورا ما يجي.
The floods in Saudi Arabia and other regions of Arabia have been devastating in January 2025. Intense rains and thunderstorms have caused massive flooding in sacred cities like Mecca and Medina, as well as in the historic port city of Jeddah. The Saudi government has declared a state of emergency at the highest level, known as the red level, due to the severity of the situation. Authorities have urged the population to stay in their homes and avoid flood-prone areas. Rescue and relief teams are working tirelessly to save lives and mitigate damage. The National Center for Meteorology has warned that adverse weather conditions will continue over the coming days, with torrential rains and strong winds. The situation is particularly critical in the western region of the country, where Mecca, the spiritual center of Islam, is located. The floods have turned streets into rivers and complicated transit, affecting both daily life and infrastructure.
وصلت مكة المكرمة.
Images shared on social media show a bleak landscape, with submerged cars and streets blocked by water. Authorities have asked travelers to contact airlines for updated information on flights due to possible delays and cancellations. In Medina, floods have left streets blocked and trees fallen, while in Jeddah, the situation is similar, with many areas affected by torrential rains. Safety warnings and instructions have been issued by civil defense to protect citizens. The impact of these floods has been significant, and authorities are taking extraordinary measures to protect the population and their properties. The international community has expressed solidarity and is offering support to Saudi Arabia during these challenging times.
منا مأشياء طريقة فوق العباس.
Torrential rains have caused significant structural damage in many areas, including the destruction of homes and the disruption of essential services like water and electricity supply. Emergency teams are working hard to restore these services and provide assistance to those affected. The government has set up temporary shelters for those who have lost their homes, and food and drinking water supplies are being distributed to the most affected areas.
Karoma.
Humanitarian organizations are collaborating with local authorities to coordinate relief and assistance efforts. Torrential rains have caused landslides in some mountainous regions, further complicating rescue efforts. Rescue teams are using helicopters and other means to reach the most isolated areas and evacuate trapped individuals. The National Center for Meteorology has issued additional warnings for the next 48 hours, indicating that intense rains and strong winds will continue. The floods have also affected transportation infrastructure, with roads and bridges damaged by water and landslides. This has made access to affected areas difficult and delayed rescue and assistance efforts. The government has requested international assistance to address the crisis, and several countries and organizations have responded by offering logistical and humanitarian support. Additional supplies and rescue teams are being sent to help mitigate the effects of the floods. Torrential rains have caused significant damage to crops and agriculture in some regions, which could have a long-term impact on the local economy. Authorities are assessing the damage and considering measures to support affected farmers. The floods have generated a large amount of debris, complicating cleanup and recovery efforts. Emergency teams are working to clear the streets and restore order in the affected areas. The government has urged the population to cooperate with authorities and follow safety instructions to protect themselves and their families. Torrential rains have caused significant damage to telecommunications infrastructure, hindering communication between authorities and the population. Emergency teams are working to restore communication services and ensure that information reaches those who need it.
ما شاء الله تبارك الرحمن. تصوير مسرح الحربي.
سلام يا سلام.
The government has announced plans to improve infrastructure and disaster preparedness in the future, with the aim of preventing similar situations in the future. Investments in drainage systems and other mitigation measures are being considered to protect the population from future floods.
Shit.